Going back 14 years ago, when I started out in the internet digital space, I knew everything that was going on, right? I knew what was hip, what was trendy, what was modern. And now, 14 years, I'm detached, right? And it frustrates me as a business leader. So the factory acts as a middleman between myself, who wants to invest and buy in young, creative, emerging talent, and that very emerging talent that needs the support and funding to do their stuff, right? And the additional benefit is that the factory is rich in the context that it encourages collaboration. So rather than just being interested in one creative genre, we're bringing all creative genres in as a mix to basically see what comes out. And hopefully that's new products, new services, just great new ideas.
We know that the creative talent is here, for sure. It's in China. There's so many students that are just dying to break out and do creative things. And I think sometimes maybe you just need to add just one little element to it and just give it a push. And then just let them take off and do their own thing. I don't believe that we should be in the position of micromanaging the process at all. I think we should just give them a platform. And then, I think what you'll find is, much in the same way that you found in the West in the 60s and the 70s, that this kind of unbridled creativity is what's going to give you the whole next generation of arts, advertising, film, music. It's there already. It just needs maybe just a little bit of a push.
Shanghai is such the right place to basically launch the factory, because the world is looking at China, and in Shanghai in particular with 2010, the expectations are very high. And I consider any business in Shanghai in particular should be transformational. And I believe the factory is a transformational concept, and that Shanghai is the perfect place to found this concept. A really good example is a multinational toy company, and they are basically looking to grow their business here in China. Where the factory works brilliantly is that we can basically reach out to young creatives. They might be in fashion, they might be in styling, they might be even in computer animation, and say to them, hey, dream up a look, a style that may be relevant to this particular toy, this particular brand. We let them work together for 2 to 3 months, and then when that multinational executive visits China, they will come to the factory, and while they're having a drink and socializing, we will create the opportunity for these young people to present and share their ideas, which we hope that executive would then turn around and say, I would like to buy that. The long-term intention is to have different strategic investors in the project, so it's not a 100% Profero initiative, because by having a variety of strategic investors from different interests in the creative community, the factory can become more richer as a proposition. Historically, from my perspective, recessions have always been a positive time for Profero as a business to grow. So the same applies to the factory here, in that I think our timing is perfect to establish this concept in the China and global marketplace.
There is a sense of change, there is a sense of upheaval even within the advertising world. And all the creative industries, I mean, in China, I think creative industries is a relatively new term. And so whenever you have a new industry, a new opportunity, right? It's always going to have a long period of growth before it matures, and then it can be affected by an economic downturn. So I think as long as it's still a new industry, it's going to keep growing in China as well. So actually, to be in this industry and to be in China right now is a good thing. To be in this industry and be in New York, say, could be quite different. You could lose your job, you know, because possibly you work for a big 4A advertising agency, and some of their clients pull back and aren't going to spend money on advertising. But I think to be in the digital world and to be in China right now, it's still a growth industry.
That was a key consideration for us, because we needed the room to be able to deliver on the promise that is the concept, for the food and beverage, for the creative pods, for the meeting rooms, for the audio and video studio, and finding such a space that was versatile and robust enough in Shanghai is tough. And that's when we as a business, as Profero, when we got involved in the 1933 project in helping them with their branding and their design, we started to become very interested in building number 4 as a means for establishing the factory and also moving Profero as an agency there as well. From a business perspective, right, a lot of the creative talent are underfunded. So and a lot of the business people, the people that want to procure ideas, are starved of those ideas, right? There's a lack of ideas. So we will be successful if we fund the creative and get those brilliant ideas to the buyers, the business executives, the entrepreneurs, the marketing directors. That will create huge amounts of opportunity for young Chinese creatives to have an impact both in China and also globally.